Hi, it is me again, struggling with flexibility once again, and now I have made few dozen tries to see what is working and what is not working, and generally it turned out nothing is working. And now I will make a presentation for you how flexibility is not working in Inventor. So we will try to place a pre-assembled bolt assembly here, and the bolt assembly is prepared in as flexible so it can accommodate various thicknesses for the clipping or holding distance. So this is basically just an assembly of something that I am developing, and I will show you the bolt assemblies. I have prepared 3 different types of the same bolt assembly according to various suggestions that arised during months of months or years of struggling with the flexibility issue in Inventor. So we have basically three sets of the bolt assembly. We have generally the same assembly, only it is built in different way. One is constrained to the origin planes and basically the origin coordinate system in its assembly. The other one is done so all components are free and are only constrained to each other, and the third one that is built upon first component being grounded at some point. It is the middle, the center of the assembly. So I will open those 3 to demonstrate you how they are done. So this is the constrained assembly. So the constrained assembly means that the first elements, so in this case this washer, is constrained to 2 origin planes and the axis. So it is the set of constraint that fully defines the position and orientation of this washer. The rest of the components are constrained to the washer and to each other in the following way as the bolt is assembled. So in consequence we have degrees of freedom that are basically the movement along the axis of the bolt for the nut, and movement and rotation for the nut, and movement for the washer. So basically as a normal bolt. The other assembly that we have is assembly that is named as grounded, and basically this washer, instead of being constrained to the origin planes and the origin axis, it is just grounded because there was a suggestion that the grounding first component hugely increases the stability of calculation and solving the assembly sometime in the past. And third assembly is basically the same as the grounded was, only that this washer is ungrounded, so it is free to move, and basically all the components can move freely inside the assembly, and they are constrained to each other only. So now I will place all those 3 in turn in this assembly, and I will show you how Inventor is crashing the assembly in every possible case. So we shall start with the grounded, so most common one. I will place it here, and now what I will do, I will now make it flexible, and I will now constrain axis of the bolt to the axis of the hole that I want the bolt to be in. So far so good. Now the thing is, I want, in this case, so the bolt head and the washer under the bolt head, and so the bolt head is outside. So I want to constrain the face of the washer to the face of the wall of this element. I will try to apply this constraint then. this is fully doable, as this bolt can be in the other way, so it will fit. There is nothing that would prevent this bolt from fitting in the hole in this direction that I want. So I will try to apply the constraint. It doesn't look very well because the bolt is now moved there for some unknown reason, but okay, I am giving it a shot, and basically we have a problem because the constraint solver did something that he doesn't accept, or design doctor doesn't accept. Although the bolt looks fine and basically it is now here, we have an error. This error comes from some inconsistency in the way that the assembly is solved and the solution is evaluated. So there is some bug in the software that doesn't follow and is preventing Inventor from solving this properly. We shall now try the same with the assembly that is not grounded but that is free. Johnson advised me to do the following: to unground the components inside the assembly, then to ground the assembly itself, and then to make it flexible. This way, these components can only move inside their parent assembly that is grounded. I personally do not think this is the right solution because it prevents many solutions, and in many cases this cannot be used, but nevertheless I will try. So I will do the same. First I will constrain the axis of the bolt to the axis of the hole that I want the bolt in. So far so good. Like previously, the bolt is aligned with the hole, and now we do the same. We try to make the face of the wall with the face of the washer. The outcome now is very different from what it was before. As you can roll back in the video, once I selected the two faces for the mate constraint in case of the grounded bolt assembly, the bolt was immediately placed there for some unknown reason. Now it is here, and we get an error again. This time the bolt is nowhere near where it should be. We have an error, and basically the assembly is not usable anymore. In case you might say, oh, it is not a problem, just take the bolt. No. In case of more complex assemblies where there are more flexible components, in such case the assembly is forced into positions against its internal constraints, and it is not anymore possible to rebuild the assembly in a way so it is rebuilt properly. So it is lost. You need to delete all flexible components, and you need to rebuild the assembly from scratch. So this is not the point. So again, generally we have now the free flexible subassembly that also didn't work. We can try other thing, to place constraint subassembly. So if I place the constraint flexible subassembly, I just make it flexible as any other component I would do, and then again I will apply the mate constraint to the axis of the hole of the bolt, and then I will apply the mate constraint. I will try to apply the mate constraint between the face and the face of the washer, and generally the outcome is opposite. Once I will do that again. So once I select those two faces, the bolt is brought in the position it should be, not like in previous cases. In the first one the bolt was here, and in the other the bolt didn't move. So in this case the bolt is brought to the face of the hole, so it looks nice, it looks like it should be. Now I try to apply, and I am getting the same inconsistent relationship error. Only I have a solution that is valid. So again, some bug in the software that is somewhere in between solving and validating the solution for the assembly with the flexible components. Something is very wrong here. So this is most basic example you can have, and I have repeated it tens of times because before I have recorded this video. This is not working. Could please someone from Autodesk take this video, take this data set and try why it is not working. Once you have this fixed, the flexibility in Inventor will work. Why you are not willing to do that? Please answer me.